Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
ذاك العظيم في علا من أبدع الكون سوى سبحان الله وبحمد الله ولا إله إلا الله.
You know, we talk about the millennium today. We say this is the millennium, and you were in an area where a lot of people wanted to be right in the Pacific, for the start of the millennium. In the first millennium, 1000 AD, the largest city in the world was Cordoba, we would say. There were over 1 million people living in the city. This is when there was no New York City. There was no Los Angeles. There was no Dallas, Texas. London and Paris were only small villages. The great capitals of the world actually had to look toward the Muslim world. This is where the Tawhidic understanding came into play, bringing in the knowledge of all the peoples of the world. And so it was a common thing at that time in Cordoba and Granada and Toledo and Seville and the great capitals, but especially there, it was common for a Muslim to be able to read and speak Arabic, also to read Latin, also to speak a dialect of Spanish. And then because people were coming in from Germany and they were coming from different parts of the world, they were able to pick up many different languages and then translate the knowledge of the ancient ones and put it in this new form. And so the present day modern system owes its basis to Muslims. This might be a shock to you, because if Muslims are only trying to blow up the world, how can they do anything positive? Zero is an Arabic letter, a sifr. The concept of zero, which was probably first used in ancient Egypt. I had the chance to go to Egypt, to Misr, to Saqqara, the temple of Saqqara. And underneath the temple of Saqqara, there are hieroglyphic writings, and on there was zero and decimal numbers. This is like 3000 BC. They had zero and decimal numbers. They were doing complicated brain surgery. They knew the nervous system, and they knew the skeletal system. In ancient India, they were also using zero for a long time. So the Muslims took this knowledge, brought it together, and gave us the present system that we have. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the Arabic numeral system. You're counting in Arabic. The computer, the binary numbers, it's Arabic. So the basis of the computer age actually came out of what we would call the golden age of Islam, where Muslims developed understandings like algebra, from Jabr. Also calculus, trigonometry. All of these were expanded and developed by Muslims. The scientific method, the basis of alchemy is alchemia, chemistry, the scientific method. Also even the historical method. And when we read Ibn Khaldun, his Muqaddimah, we see the basis of the historical method. Some even say that history comes from Ustur, Asatir al-Awwalin. It is the stories of those who came before us. And so the basis of the science that we have today, the basis of city-states, the basis of civil society, civil, organized, structured society, came in its modern sense out of Muslim capitals. Because the Roman Empire had fallen, and China was landlocked. It wasn't affecting the rest of the world. And so it was the Muslims who took this knowledge and then made it available to the world in a Tawhidic form. Now, one of the important things that was done in that time is that the environment was seen to be the creation of Allah. And so therefore, if you were a scientist and you were doing a scientific experiment, you wanted to bring water into the city. And it is said in Cordoba and Granada the water was flowing in. Every home had running water. The streets were lit for 20 kilometers in any direction. This was a time when the great capitals of Europe were in darkness. At that point, this Tawhidic understanding. So how do they bring the water in? They don't fight against nature. They don't see nature as the enemy. They understand the principles of nature and then use gravity, building aqueducts, building canals. And by using the power that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Creator, put into the earth of gravity, then the water comes naturally down from the mountain and it flows into everybody's home. So you don't have to dam anything up. You don't have to destroy anything, but you flow with nature. You see, that's what Islam really means. It's the fitrah. It says move with the gravity. Don't fight gravity, but flow along with the gravity, and then use that power in order to benefit yourself and benefit humanity.
ذاك العظيم في علا من أبدع الكون سوى سبحان الله وبحمد الله ولا إله إلا الله. ذاك العظيم في علا من أبدع الكون سوى سبحان الله وبحمد الله